The media in our society has an enormous influence that is nearly impossible to escape. Everywhere you look or listen, there is usually some form of media, whether it be on your phone, tablet, laptop, TV, a billboard, on the bus, and so on. Media is a form of communication used to store and deliver information or data. A few types of media include broadcast media, such as radio or TV, multimedia, which is the internet or websites, print media, books, magazines, newspapers, social media, such as Facebook or Twitter, and advertising media, which is pretty obvious. Media can be quite an amazing thing. It can get information out very quickly. It can educate. It can connect you with anyone in the world. And it can entertain. There is, however, a negative side to media. As media is controlled primarily by a select few of the wealthiest corporations in the world, what comes out of the media can be fairly one-sided and set for specific agendas. The main focus will be on the propaganda within our media, especially but not limited to advertising. Propaganda is a form of communication aimed towards influencing the attitude of a population towards some cause or position. Propaganda is not impartial, or in other words, it is always biased. The point of propaganda to influence an audience is to produce an emotional rather than a rational response. Now, there are several techniques used in propaganda, but for this we're going to focus just on 5. And the first is that of ad hominem. Ad hominem is a Latin phrase that has come to mean attacking one's opponent as opposed to attacking the arguments, more commonly known as attack ads. Here are a few examples. In these campaign ads, we see an attack on the opposing candidate against homosexuality. There are no reasons or justification for this ad. It is aimed purely at the emotion. This is another example of a campaign attack ad aimed at emotion with little information. As for product attack ads, we see that Dunkin' Coffee is saying it is better than Starbucks coffee, but with no real statistics, except for a supposed blind taste test. And in this, Kindle is attacking Apple and saying it is lighter than Apple's product, but does not supply any further information or a so what. The next technique used in propaganda is that of ad nauseum. This argument approach uses tireless repetition of an idea. An idea, especially a simple slogan that is repeated enough times, may begin to be taken as the truth. This is pretty straightforward. The propaganda obviously wants you to believe the BBC is brainwashing you by repeating the same thing over and over. These head-on commercials, if you don't remember, would repeat the phrase head-on, apply directly to the forehead, head-on, apply directly to the forehead, in an attempt to get the consumer to remember the product. And the famous McDonald's motto, seen all over. They believe if this phrase is seen enough, people will start to think that they too love McDonald's food. The next technique is that of appeal to fear. This technique seeks to build support by instilling anxieties and panic in the general population. Vote or Die was a Democratic ad focused on the younger generation to go vote. Obviously, the phrase or die raises an emotional response. Simply put, you get high on drugs and you will die. Where is the logic or statistics? This ad purely relies on the emotion of fear to keep people off drugs. And this ad is just plain ridiculous. They try to invoke fear of communism for pirating music. Just completely fallacious. Moving on to the next technique of propaganda, appeal to authority. Appeals to authority cite prominent figures to support a position, idea, argument, or course of action. Oh, Jesus uses Mentos for fresh breath? Then so should I. Obviously a dated ad, but by putting a doctor in a cigarette ad, this makes the consumer feel safer, like there are no negative side effects to smoking cigarettes. Bill Cosby uses this calculator, therefore it must be a great calculator. Appeal to authority can also tie in with the technique of bandwagoning, as the propaganda will use celebrities to endorse a product or idea and hope that everyone jumps on. And the technique, called bandwagon, attempts to persuade the target audience to join in and take course of action that everyone else is taking. Gut Milk is famous for using celebrities in hopes of having more people drink milk just because these famous people do. Damn, over 99 billion hamburgers sold? I better not miss out on that. This ad means to relate to the quality of the pictures, but really it implies that the product is meant for the rich, and who doesn't want to own a product meant for rich people? As you have seen, a lot of media uses propaganda techniques that can be very misleading, biased, and manipulative. The main appeal is that of emotion. Logic is very seldom seen in media. I wonder why that is.